The best tablet for you needs to be an entertainment machine, a productivity powerhouse, and a slate that works great for creativity. It also needs to bridge the gap between a smartphone and a small laptop, and luckily there are a great array of tablets for you to choose from. That's why we've listed the 5 best tablets you can buy. The S6 Lite has dual speakers on the sides, which gives surprisingly good stereo separation. You can really tell the channels when you're listening to music or watching videos. The tablet doesn't feel low-end. It's made of a classy, matte gray material, measuring 9.6 by 6.1 by 0.27 inches and weighing 16.4 ounces. There's a mid-sized, even bezel around the screen, which means no home button or fingerprint sensor, so you'll have to get used to Samsung's relatively insecure face unlock or typing in a passcode. A USB-C port sits on the bottom, with a standard 3.5mm headphone jack on top. That last is especially welcome. The 10.4-inch, 2000 by 1,200 pixel TFT LCD screen has 224 pixels per inch. It's fine, but if you're used to AMOLED screens, the LCD will seem a bit washed out. Similarly, if you're used to higher pixel density displays such as 2560 by 1,600 screens, you'll notice some jaggedness in pixelation in text. It all depends on what you compare this to. The base model iPad has a 264p display, which isn't much different. Less expensive tablets are usually 1280 by 800, which is significantly worse than the Tab S6 Lite. The S6 Lite's star feature is its S Pen stylus, included in the box. The S Pen clips to the side of the tablet magnetically. It doesn't fall off when you're carrying it around. The pen is gray, with one flat side, and is both pressure and tilt sensitive. The screen is smooth glass, and the S Pen doesn't have a very grippy feel. It definitely slides a bit. Writing and drawing with the S Pen are excellent. The stylus isn't ever laggy or misaligned, and the pressure sensitivity works smoothly in a wide range of applications. Samsung has been perfecting pen input for years, and it shows. The Lumi uses the same 13.3-inch, 2200 by 1,650, 207p e-ink Mobius Carta screen you'll find on other e-ink devices this size. The module is the e-ink VB3300 NCD, and the manufacturer says it has 16 gray levels and a 450 milliseconds refresh rate. Since e-ink is the single supplier for a bunch of different manufacturers, it doesn't tend to differentiate on the screens themselves, it's more about what you can do with them. The 13.3-inch screen on the Lumi is ideal for representing 8.5 by 11-inch documents at a nearly 1:1 ratio, as an 8.5 by 11 page has a 13.9-inch diagonal. Sheet music, graphic novels, and scientific texts in PDF all display very well here. It's also good for even larger documents, such as maps. It's overkill for standard-size books, unless you intend to use very large type. At 12.20 by 8.97 by 0.31 inches and 20.1 ounces, the tablet is large, but that's the selling point. There's some bezel around the edges, but not to an offensive degree. At the bottom, there's a combination back button and fingerprint scanner. On the bottom of the tablet are a USB-C port and a dedicated micro HDMI input port. 2 very small, quiet speakers are on the back. If you're listening to something, you'll want to use USB-C or Bluetooth headphones, or 3.5mm headphones with the included dongle. Yes, the tablet is fragile and no, it isn't waterproof, but Onyx sells a case. One of the big hardware changes is the Lumi's Moonlight, a color-changing front light with a wide range of blue to yellow colors and brightness levels. A front light isn't as important on a large format, workaday tablet as it is on a smaller ebook reader, if only because you're a lot less likely to use it in bed. But if you want to do that with the Lumi, you can. Like on other pen-powered Onyx tablets, the Max Lumi uses a small, light black plastic stylus with an action button on the body and an eraser button on top. The stylus has a pocket clip that prevents it from rolling. It's a Wacom pen, so it doesn't need a battery. It's solid, but very light. With its hard metal frame, the iPad Air looks and feels like an iPad Pro rather than the traditional rounded iPad. It's almost the same size as the current 10.2-inch iPad, although it's a touch slimmer and lighter. I remember the original Air was a revelation when it clocked in at 1 pound, and this model sticks to that weight. The Air fits a 10.9-inch, 2360 by 1,640 screen into the same body size as the 10.2-inch iPad by reducing the bezels. All iPads have 264p screens, so as they get larger, you just get more real estate. This screen, therefore, gives you just about as much surface area as the 11-inch iPad Pro. It's laminated with an anti-reflective coating that makes it much less reflective, and more pleasantly usable, than the standard iPad screen. It also has Apple's wide color gamut, which I've never really personally noticed. The top and bottom of the tablet have powerful stereo speakers, which give real, 2-channel stereo sound in landscape mode. On the lower-cost iPad, the speakers are only at the bottom. On the top of the tablet, there's a really cool innovation in the form of a power button that doubles as a fingerprint sensor. This means the Air doesn't have to have a big bezel for a physical home button, but it can also use a fingerprint sensor so you don't have to futz around with trying to face unlock the tablet when you're wearing a mask. The new iPad Air uses an Apple A14 processor with 4GB of RAM and either 64GB or 256GB of storage. It's the fastest iPad available, and benchmarks faster than any Android device, as well. The new 12.9-inch iPad Pro looks, feels, and works like the 2018 unit, at 11.04 by 8.46 by 0.23 inches and 1.41 pounds. It's clad in metal, with a slate gray or silver back, and quad speakers at the top and bottom that make for excellent stereo separation. The 12.9-inch size is a bit awkward to use in your hands. It works much better ergonomically in its keyboard case. There's no headphone jack, nor is there a Lightning port. The only port here is a single USB-C, although Apple's official keyboards pair with a magnetic connector that leaves the USB-C connection free. The iPad works with the second-generation Apple Pencil stylus, which attaches and charges by snapping magnetically onto the side of the tablet. The screen is a beautiful 2732 by 2,048, 120Hz panel with 600 nits maximum brightness and a special anti-reflectivity coating. It seems to be the same as on the older tablet. Apple's A12Z processor still relies on the year-old A12 architecture, the same that's in the iPhone XS, the current iPad Air, and the 2018 iPad Pro, but amps it up with yet more GPU power to deal with rendering augmented reality scenes. There's also more RAM. This is the first iPad with 6GB. Aesthetically, little separates the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus from other high-end slates like the iPad Pro. The chassis and back of the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus are constructed of aluminum and available in black, silver, or bronze. It measures 11.25 by 7.3 by 0.2 inches and weighs 1.3 pounds without the optional book cover keyboard case. That may sound heavy, but the weight is well distributed, making it easy to hold for long periods. A slim camera stack and a magnetic connector for the S Pen are on the upper left corner. A word of warning, the connector for the S Pen is not as well placed or as powerful as what you'll find on the iPad Pro, making it easy to lose. The front is dominated by a 12.4-inch, 2800 by 1,752 pixel Super AMOLED display with a 120Hz variable refresh rate. Color accuracy is spot on, with vivid colors and inky, deep blacks. The screen is bright enough to use in direct sunlight without any problems. As expected, the Tab S7 Plus can chew through just about any task you throw its way. We tested it with over a dozen apps and 3 dozen Chrome windows open and it didn't even flinch. The powerful Snapdragon 865 chipset on the tablet, combined with its 120Hz display, makes gaming an immersive and seamless experience. We tested the tablet with Asphalt 9, Legends and PUBG Mobile and didn't encounter a single hiccup. Load times are lightning fast, and the 120Hz display means you'll never see any lag or dropped frames. A 13MP primary lens with an f/2.0 aperture and a 5MP ultra-wide lens with an f/2.2 aperture comprise the Tab S7 Plus's rear camera module. There's an 8MP sensor on the front of the tablet with an f/2.0 aperture. The 8MP selfie camera is perfect for video calls no matter the time of day. It also takes a good selfie, though some of our low light test shots appeared a little flat, with minor noise around the edges.